Hey guys, welcome to Digital Versus. We have here the OnePlus 5 versus the Samsung Galaxy S8. How do they compare in benchmark tests? Well, let's find out. Okay, so first up, let's compare these two phones. So the OnePlus 5 on the left here, the Samsung Galaxy S8 on the right. So the OnePlus 5 rocking the Snapdragon 835, which is the fastest processor that you can get from Qualcomm currently, and that is paired with the Adreno 540 graphics. The Samsung that we have here is the global version, which comes with the Exynos 8895 processor, which is the fastest processor that you can get from Samsung. Now, if you get one of these from the States, it will also come with the Snapdragon 835, just like the OnePlus 5, but the global version, Exynos 8895 paired with the Mali G71. Now, there is a difference in the resolution of these two phones. So the OnePlus 5 has a 16:9 aspect ratio, while the Samsung Galaxy S8 has an 18.5:9 aspect ratio. So the resolution here, 1080x1920 pixels versus 1080x2220 pixels. Now, this is not the native resolution of the S8. Its actual native resolution is 1440x2960, but we've set it at this resolution to give a more fair comparison between the two. In terms of RAM, the OnePlus 5 has twice the amount of the S8, having 8 gigs of RAM here on this one that we have versus 4 gigs on the Galaxy S8. But anyway, let's just get into the benchmark test. So we have already run a whole lot of benchmarks, so we're just going to go straight into the results. So starting off with Geekbench, this is the compute benchmark, so this is testing the graphics performance of the two. So here we can see the Galaxy S8 outscoring the OnePlus 5, 8,669 versus 8,229. Now in Geekbench for CPU performance, we can see the Galaxy S8 scoring slightly higher than the OnePlus 5 in the single core score, but in multi-core, the OnePlus 5 outscoring the Galaxy S8, 6833 versus 6730. Both very, very similar though in terms of overall performance, not a lot in it there between the two. So the next benchmark is GFXBench, and as you can see here, the resolution on the S8 is slightly higher than the one on the OnePlus 5. So on the OnePlus 5 we've got 1920x1080 versus 2008x1080. That is because of the different screen aspect ratio on this one. But when you go into off-screen, they are both running 1920x1080. So if we have a look here at the different resolutions, we've got 25 frames per second on the OnePlus 5 versus 21. But then when we go into off-screen, they're both scoring 25 frames per second. But anyway, let's just go down through the list. So we've got 21, 24, 41, 40, 42, 41, 56, 54, 62, 63, 60, and 60, and 116 versus 121. Next up is Basemark X game benchmark. So this is a benchmark testing the graphics performance of the two devices. So having a look here, whoops, we go straight into the results. Okay, so the Samsung Galaxy S8 scoring 43,942, OnePlus 5 scoring 44,381, so a tiny win there to the OnePlus 5. Again, very, very similar scores between these two devices. The next benchmark is AndroBench. So this one here tests the performance of the onboard storage. So it's testing the read and write performance. So in the sequential read speeds, we have on the OnePlus 5 at 730 megabytes per second versus the Galaxy S8 with 796 megabytes per second. So a win there for the Galaxy S8. But then for the rest of the tests, they will go to the OnePlus 5. So in sequential write speed, 225 megabytes per second versus 202. Random read speeds 144 megabytes per second versus 126. Random write speeds 26 megabytes per second versus 15 megabytes per second. Now into the Antutu Benchmark. So as you can see here, the performance of the OnePlus 5 almost 10,000 points higher than the Galaxy S8, 184,770 versus 174,958. Most of the difference in the score here coming from the UX test. The rest of the scores fairly close, but overall the OnePlus 5 is the winner. Okay, into Basemark OS 2. So this is another overall system test, and the win here going again to the OnePlus 5. The overall score there, 3,731 versus 3,306. Okay, in Basemark, the scores here, this is another overall system test. The win here going to the OnePlus 5. significantly higher than the S8 in this test. 6,675 versus 5,264. If we have a look down here, we can see huge differences in some of the tests. For example, in the photo editing score, the OnePlus 5 scoring 11,682 versus 6,895 on the S8. The last test is Basemark ES. Now we'll see quite a big difference in the scores here, but this time it's going to the Galaxy S8, scoring a massive 1,288 versus 832 on the OnePlus 5. Now I did run these tests multiple times and got the same result each time. So overall though, these two phones fairly evenly matched. So anyway guys, that is the end of the benchmark tests. Very similar between these two phones. Personally, I would say that the Snapdragon 835 powered OnePlus 5 is slightly faster than the Galaxy S8, but we're really splitting hairs here. Some tests went to the S8, some tests went to the OnePlus 5. What do you guys think? Which one do you think is faster? Let me know in the comments below. But if you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.